welcome to the night crew. Glad you're all here again. Glad to have you. We've got an exciting show lined up for you and our usual panel of wonderful panelists. So come on in here, folks. Hello, how are you? Glad to see you all again. We got the crew all here. So there's a lot going on in the world, as I guess you've noticed. Watch the news nowadays, it's hard to keep up with all the drama. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what we can discover. What do you say? All right, first of all, Congressman George Santos denies all charges. The embattled New York representative George Santos was indicted on new federal charges on Tuesday in a superseding indictment, including conspiracy, wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, and credit card fraud. Just days after his former campaign treasurer pleaded guilty and admitted to much of the conduct according to court documents. In the face of all the mounting allegations, Congressman George Santos has firmly and categorically denied the multiple charges brought against him. Although the charges are weighty, he remains resolute in his determination to fight these accusations until the very end. As this legal battle unfolds, it remains to be seen how Congressman Santos will actually navigate these serious charges. With his determination to prove his innocence, he will undoubtedly employ all available resources to fight against the allegations that threaten his reputation and political career. The court of public opinion and the justice system will ultimately determine the merits of the case, shedding light on the truth behind these accusations. I tell you, this guy is the biggest liar on the planet. He's lied on his resume to get in, even begin politics. He lied on his when he signed up to be a candidate. He's lied on so many things. He's pretended he's people he's not. He's pretended he went to colleges that he didn't go to. And he's apparently embezzled money from some of his contributors. I mean, this guy is just a regular crook. So I hope he ends up in jail where he belongs. So what do y'all say about that? By the way, welcome back, Lamar and Michael. It's been a while. So good to see you both.
Glad to be back. Definitely glad to be back. And let me just start off by saying with this cat, I'm surprised he lasted this long. When his story came out about his lies, about who he is and what he's done, and then stealing from people as well, especially that guy with the dog, is a disgrace. And for what Kevin McCarthy was early on supporting him, all because of the vote, all because of power, it just shows that we as a society, we as Americans, need to change the status quo. And if we don't, we won't grow. We won't be what a lot of promising leaders before, like Dr. Martin Luther King saying about the promised land, for all of us to come together. It's hard for that to come to fruition when we have leaders like this in Congress and in the White House. Well, especially Congress.
All righty. Hello, Tamala. Welcome. Glad you made it.
Thank you.
So, Angela, what do you think about this story? Angela?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me, sir? I couldn't hardly hear
Yes.
you.
I said,
Okay.
what do you think about it?
Well, I like a lot of these politicians right now. I don't know who power to get him out of office. And if they want him out of office, because we just look and see what happened to on this that what happened down in Texas, because of course we know there's so much corruption in the state of Texas and been going on for years, and it just keep getting covered up year after year after year, month after month, and it's all about who got the power and who got the money. So I guess we have to follow the money trail and the paper trail to see how this gonna end. And that's my take on it, because we see that people can lie and it can be right there in black and white on paper that the lie is the lie, but they still can be acquitted. They still can be pardoned. They can still be given a pat on the wrist and sit on their way. So I guess we'll see how it play out. We'll see who is controlling the puppeteers and see who is in control. So we'll see how this play out.
Yeah. Okay. Lamar, what do you think?
Well, I'm not going to say all of the GOP are liars, but then again, we knew this guy going through the door was a liar. So, it's nothing surprising here. They just finally caught up with him. So I'll leave it at that. There's more important issues than, Santos, a liar that's proven himself a liar. And the GOP has bigger fish to deal with than this puny little pike.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He's definitely got a track record of being a liar. He's proven that over and over. Bob, what do you think about this?
Well, I don't know. I think if I don't know much about this guy in particular, but I know like a week or two ago we heard about that Menendez guy, and that's not the first time we've heard about him. And he's probably up to his eyeballs and stuff, but nothing's ever seems to happen. You just read about it in the paper for a day or two, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
And it'd been nice to see one of some of these guys held accountable.
I agree. It would be nice. All righty.
Yeah.
Pamela, what do you think about this?
Yeah. Menendez is he's been caught before.
Yeah.
Well,
Melendez, let me just say this. Melendez, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. If you're doing wrong, you should be held accountable. And it's just weird on what we're going through right now in the presidential cycle, where, you have Donald Trump, who is almost 10 points ahead of Biden, supposedly, in the polls. And he's facing over 100 now federal cases. So, I mean, it's just a full disconnect of our government and our people.
91.
Well, no, it's 91, but it said it was like 34 more cases he's going to catch because of the news that came out recently about sharing information about the submarines and the proof on why he took those documents to Mar-a-Lago for the Russians. That's coming out soon.
Towner, you're going to say something?
Nice.
I was just
About
saying,
time.
when it comes to Santos, his mouth been open ever since he's been in office, talking smack about everybody. So now he has to take the punishment that he's been putting out there, because a lot of time, people want to say this and that about what somebody else is doing. Now they're looking at him, and a lot of his counterparts, the Republicans, right now they don't really care for him right now. So he's in trouble, because when your own people don't want you, you're in trouble.
That's a bad sign. All righty. Anybody else got anything else on that one before we move on?
Well, overall, I would say this. what the Republican Party is showing under the banner of Trump, under these people that, have questionable antics about their character and crimes, especially what this guy. And still, the Republican Party is like, we'll take a felon, we'll take this and that, because they don't trust the other side, because all the lies have been told over the years, and the Democratic Party was so weak to respond in a stronger way to counteract that. So, because Menendez, Democrats were saying, let's get rid of him. He's wrong, whatever. Menendez saying he's staying in there, just like I can't think of the guy. He got so many names. but overall, it just there's a disconnect right there. How come if you do wrong, you're wrong? Doesn't matter which party you're from. So we got to change from that. We got to have a real change from that. So.
Yeah, we do. All right, let's see what's on the next agenda. Policy changes have made X an unreliable resource. Brace yourself for a shocking revelation. Elon Musk X, formerly known as Twitter, has become an absolute disaster during times of crisis. The recent attack in Israel has exposed just how unreliable the social media platform has become under Musk's clumsy acquisition and questionable policy changes. As Hamas gunmen wreaked havoc in Israel, a barrage of unverified photos and videos flooded X, depicting missile airstrikes, demolished buildings, and military violence. The catch: many of these posts shamelessly recycled old images, presenting them as current events. And who is behind this deception? Anonymous accounts, conveniently adorned with blue check marks, purchased verifications thanks to X's laughable premium subscription service, formerly known as Twitter Blue. But the theatrics didn't end there. Some accounts even showed military footage sourced from video games. Talk about a credibility crisis. If you're hoping for a reliable source of information during crucial moments, think again. Elon Musk's version of Twitter has proved beyond any doubt that it is an epic failure when it matters most. Beware, dear readers, for truth and accuracy are at stake, and X is not to be trusted. Yeah, Twitter, or X as it's called now, has really got a history of censoring the news and blocking certain people, doing a lot of what they call shadow banning. You're not taken off the platform, but your text are not always shown like it should be. And so there's a lot of manipulating, a lot of really shady stuff going on at X. So that's what that's all about. What do you think?
X is horrible because these people pay for this social media because it's supposed to take you to the next level. And oh my goodness, the videos that I have seen is horrible because they act like the Palestinians were coming from parachutes coming down from the sky to kill all the Israelites. And I said, oh my God, is this happening? Then I found out it was fake. It's horrible, all the fake videos on there. And they just use all different kind of scare tactics. For what? Why? It's already horrible. War is horrible. We don't need anything extra to be seen. So yeah, the videos I have seen are horrible.
Yeah, I agree. We get plenty of horrible things to see on the news these days. Angela, what do you think?
Well, I really have never been a fan of Twitter, really. So I don't I really don't have nothing to give or take from that. I don't utilize it. I think I may have about 34 followers, and I think I may follow like 10 people over there. So, but for are using it, as I say, just
Are
be
you following
weary.
me?
Following, I don't know. I don't know who I'm following over there. Like I don't even know how. I really don't even use that thing. Like I got 34. I don't even know if I'm following 34 people or 34 people following me, or vice versa. I know it's 34 in one and 10 in the other. So I don't know.
Okay.
But just like fake news everywhere, you just have
I
to
was
be
joking.
weary. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just have to be weary. You just have to be weary. But it's off the chain, and especially with people paying for stuff to be validated and paying for um stuff to be supposedly the truth, because a lot of this stuff is supposed to, if they counts are verified, then they mean that their information is supposed to be verified and certified and all that good stuff. But anyway, that's what I gotta say. I'm done.
Okay. Lamar.
Well, I use X as for social media for my business. But do I trust Elon Musk? Well, yeah, I can throw him, across the street. Um, but no, I don't trust the information that comes across it very rarely. And once he took over, I noticed that there was a lot of negative statements, a negative vibe that went across his service. So I really don't trust a lot of what I see on it. I'm very skeptical about it. So I don't use that as a main source of information for myself.
Yeah, good move. Bob.
I don't know.
Well,
Twitter is a lot of chatter. I don't know how much substance there is on there. I have an account there for the same reason I use it for my business. Well, to promote my book, basically. Anything else, I really just browse around, but I don't put much stock into what it says.
All right. Seems to be the general consensus, doesn't it? What do you think, Michael?
well, overall, I before Twitter became X, I was on it lightly, but when Elon Musk got control of it, he kind of remind me of how Mike Lindell spent $300 million for Trump, and now I think that's the reason why. I mean, my only logical reason it was Elon Musk bought Twitter to hopefully that Trump would get back on board, which that's idiotic. Um, but it's about ending free speech because we're waking up. When they talk about the woke agenda, they're saying we should go back to sleep to be really woke, and I don't believe that notion. So look, Elon Musk got hundreds of billions. He's the richest man on the planet. So to destroy a platform like Twitter, almost in a sense where just to silence us, to spend $42 billion on buying it. Yeah, it's worth it to silence us. And since I didn't hear about the whole complaints overall, just now until now from y'all about X. I'm going to discontinue X tomorrow morning because all the stuff I put out there, it just seems like after Elon Musk got in there, I'm getting less followers, less responses. Even on Facebook, YouTube, I mean, especially what's going on with me, the algorithms. But overall, universally for everybody else, no, Twitter X, whatever the hell you want to call it, it's not worth it.
All righty. Anything else on that one? Okay, we'll go to the next one. Here we go. Walgreen workers go on strike. We've got a lot of strikers these days. On Monday, now these are non-union pharmacy employees, including pharmacists, technicians, and support staff, launched a 3-day walkout at Walgreens stores nationwide to protest poor working conditions. Although the exact number of workers that joined the Walgreens walkout is unclear, it has received broad support among the employees of pharmacy chains who are facing dire working conditions with the oncoming winter season and demands for vaccinations against COVID, flu, and RSV, as well as others. In the U.S. alone, between 7,000 to 9,000 people die each year as a result of medication errors. It is likely that hundreds of thousands of adverse reactions that go unreported. These medication errors account for $40 billion annual healthcare costs alone, not including the burden on the patient, their family, and health system in general. Now, that's a scary thing right there. And apparently it's deadly, in a lot of cases. I can see where that happened. I'm on a few medications myself, and I depend on the pharmacy to get it right. They're the experts, not me. And what's really interesting, this is a non-union thing here. Apparently, it's no union involved. They're just up with it. Some of them haven't worked 10, 12 hours a day. You just do too much, and it's unsafe. I haven't heard anything about this on my local news, so I don't know if the Walgreens around here have participating or not. Perhaps some of y'all have seen it in your neighborhoods. So what do you think? Bob, you want to go first?
All right. I don't know. The pharmaceutical industry needs an overhaul, just like everything else. That's unacceptable that so many deaths, like you pointed out, occur because of them every year. I think we need to go back to natural medications, natural healing as much as possible. There are cures out there, and there are doctors outside the system who do good work, and maybe we should look towards them more.
Yeah. All righty. Michael, are you still with us?
Yeah, sorry about that. My dog was outside. I had to go out here and make sure she was okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, we do need an overhaul, especially with our healthcare system. The plague that we're facing as a society when it comes to our healthcare is basically greed. Years of greed, years of neglect, years of not seeing the people's plight, not realizing that it's more important that the people's needs are met than just making money. But overall, we got to have a real overhaul of our medical systems, our way how we take care of people, way how we can have people to access good, affordable healthcare. And take greed out of the equation, because without that, we're not going to really evolve to something that'll be universally sound for all.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
I hope that made sense, because I don't know what I was going with my heart when I said that. So I mean it's true, because it doesn't make any sense where they're telling us that like on the Republican side it's not okay for y'all to have equal healthcare. So how I see it is, as a presidential candidate, that it's not okay for pharmaceutical companies and whatnot in the healthcare field to make money off of if we live or die. So that's where the disconnect is that I see. And there's avenues that we can make our healthcare system better. and to save money. But we got to get greed out of it, and it's going to take a new type of leadership to do that.
That would be good. What do you think, Tamala?
When I heard the word Walgreens, I started laughing. I was like, oh, there's still Walgreens? Because in Cincinnati, mostly all our Walgreens are gone.
Oh,
It's
really?
Walgreens in Cleveland. It's here in Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah, I said Cincinnati. Mostly all our
Oh,
Walgreens
okay.
are gone in Cincinnati.
Really?
And yes, all
Hmm.
gone.
Hmm.
And so I was just shocked there was still a Walgreens. I was like, oh, okay. And I was thinking about, they said go to natural things. When I was growing up, we didn't go to the doctor and all that stuff. And I look at people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Uh, when we was growing up, I'm in my 50s, but when we was growing up, our parents gave us castor oil and St. Johnson. I can't remember what it was. And if you had ear infection, you get the tea tree oil and put that in your ear, and the ear infection goes away. We had all these natural stuff that would clean us out, and then we just go, and we got away from that. So all this medication is basically a lot of chemicals, and some of the stuff we don't even need. We need to pay attention to the medication our doctors give us, because what I do when I do go to the doctor and they give me some medication, I look it up. I'm trying to see what are the side effects. Is this going to affect me? Does it go with this medicine? Because you could take two medicines that not supposed to go together and it will take you out. And they don't tell you that, because sometimes if you have different doctors, the different doctors don't talk to each other, and they don't tell you, and they don't look at your chart. They just say, okay, you're taking this medication, you on your own. So you have to do your own investigation before you put all this stuff in your body, because you don't know what you're taking half of the time. So we just got to be careful. And when it comes to that, being an educator, and some of these children don't know how to read, so when they get these jobs, my, you just gotta pray and hope that they can read, and that's probably the reason why a lot of these people have lost their life, because they probably don't know how to read.
Yeah, we have to take a chance, unfortunately. Angela. Angela?
So yes, I'm sorry. So I'm like Apostle now. I didn't know it was that many Walgreens around, because we don't have a lot of Walgreens down here in Myrtle Beach. We got some CVS's, um, but we don't have a lot of Walgreens. But the pharmaceuticals, they always, it's always something with them. They all about that money.
Yeah.
But that's all I got to say. I don't have a whole lot on that.
Yeah, we got lots of Walgreens around here. I don't think we have any CVS left. I think they all went away. Lamar. Lamar?
Well, I thought the issue is not how many retailers are around, but the issue is actually how many people are dying. And that's what we should be concerned about, is how many people are dying every year. And I think that's very sad and needs to be addressed. And like
Yeah.
Michael was saying earlier about, and Bob mentioned it earlier as well, the overhauling of the system. And Angela talked about it as well, about natural medications. But I'm very fortunate. I have Social Security, or I have Social Security, but I'm a socialist because I'm a vet. You know, I have excellent health care. But vets still die at a horrendous rate, and vets should not be, dying like we do, but we do. And greed is a very, very high, what's the word? Very high motivation for companies. And I'll leave it there.
All righty. Okay, what we got next? Will the United States suffer attack? Now, this here is a lady. She's a pastor, and she says she's a prophet, and she had a message from God. Pastor Julie Green, self-described prophet and MAGA enthusiast, is predicting that the United States will soon suffer a major attack following the persecution of former President Donald Trump. Trump has pleaded not guilty to a total of 91 felony criminal counts across 4 different criminal indictments this year. He frequently claims to be the victim of political persecution and election interference, while he campaigns for a return to the White House in the 2024 presidential election. Green claimed in a video shared to her Rumble account this week that God told her an attack seeking to destroy the foundation of America was imminent in the wake of all the injustice aimed at Trump. She said that the attack would ultimately be thwarted as it would backfire on the country's enemies. So apparently this lady is thinking that God is mad because people aren't treating Donald Trump the way he should be treated. So I definitely don't agree with her on that. And I think a lot of other people don't agree with her on that. So what do you think, folks?
May I start first, please?
Go ahead.
Can I go?
God Almighty, please! It
I
hurt
wanna go
my
first.
soul hearing what you
Go
just
ahead,
read.
Michael. Because I
Oh my God, Donald! What? Really? Here's the thing that I was taught growing up. My grandmother in a Christian household. Your actions dictate what's in your heart, what's been taught about Christianity and whatnot. When you support somebody that's damn near the Antichrist, I mean, come on, man. I mean, enough is enough, man. Hell, this dude been impeached twice. This dude got he going to spend over 1,000 years in freaking prison like a mummy. Come on, man. These religious people, and there's a few of them who was like 100% on board with Trump. Now, all of a sudden, recently, about a year ago, about probably this year, they said, wait a minute. This is what the Bible has been telling us. This is who we need to look out for. And these same people, I mean, they're waking up eventually, but there's a multitude of individuals in Congress that keep spreading the same bullcrap that Trump is spreading. So, I mean, this is beyond color, is beyond part. This is spiritual, because there's no way in hell that you can fool people, especially when Trump was president, telling people to drink bleach to cure the COVID. I mean, come on, man. I had enough. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'll keep going until the sun come up. So go ahead.
Lamar, go ahead, brother. I know you can't wait to get in on this.
I'm jumping in this one, both feet. Okay. So she's talking about the foundations of this country. So let's start there. The foundation of this, what's interesting, because Monday was Indigenous Peoples Day. So then the foundation of this country was the eradication, or the start of the eradication of Indigenous people. So that's the foundation. Then we have, she's a prophet or prophetess in the likeness of the Antichrist, Donald Trump. and we've talked. I've mentioned about the Antichrist, and like Michael mentioned a few seconds ago. But here's a person who's been convicted of raping a 13-year-old and try to pay that off, and people didn't want to pay attention. Here's a person who gets married and is sleeping around with other women. Okay, so you're still around, Michael. Okay.
Yes. No worry. Yes, I'm
married, pregnant, and what is he doing? He's sleeping with the
hookers. I mean, prostitutes. I mean, not prostitutes. Porn star. The porn star.
Okay, she's still getting paid, but right now, you have people making golden calves and bowing down to him. You have him going to Liberty University and saying, my book is just as good as the Bible. You have him taking pictures with the Bible upside down. If this guy isn't the Antichrist, then, I love vanilla ice cream. So this guy is just as backwards as I love horror films. Okay. And one of my favorite movies is The Omen. And just like Damien was protected by that one lady, his nanny, this lady here, the prophetess, is Donald Trump's prophetess. This guy is the Antichrist, and she's up there saying the very things that needs to be said to protect him. But just like Donald Trump will say, we're going to man, there's so many things he says. Everything he says is backwards.
So many. God almighty,
like his
so
comb
many.
over.
No.
Yes, I'm going to clean up.
I'm not saying no.
So he puts
I'm
in
saying
people that are there to break up, to destroy the. It's. I couldn't wait to see this article come up. This is just a hoax. It's not a witch hunt. This is a hoax, and this is right on line with Elon Musk's Twitter accounts or X accounts. This lady is a joke from jump, and to see that she's with the MAGA group, oh man, I was laughing from beginning to the end. She's probably one of the. She's probably a star on Fox News, but I'll leave it alone because I'll stop talking.
Did y'all notice her last name was Green? Do you think maybe she might be a relative of Marjorie Taylor Greene? They kind of sound alike.
No. No, there's no connection with that. There's no blood connection. Just no.
Okay.
I don't know. But she if you ask her, she'd probably say that she's part of the Q generation as well.
Yeah.
Mama.
Bob, I know you're dying to get in here, brother.
There may be an attack, but I don't think it's for the reasons she's saying. I think it could be because nobody's caring about who's coming through the border. There's people from everywhere, and with not good intentions, let's put it that way, who are getting through that border, and we don't know what they're carrying, who they know, what they're doing here. And that's a dangerous situation. So if there's an attack, I think that would be the reason why.
All right. Angela, what do you think? Angela?
Wow. I don't have anything to say.
Okay.
Apostle, chime in on that, Apostle.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Steve trying to get us jumped. Oh, Lord. He trying to get us jumped. But you know what? Let me tell you. When these people say stuff like this, I think people just have to learn how to be quiet, because over the years, I've been watching folks talking about if you don't do this and if you don't do that, and I'd be like, I'd be looking, and I always tell people just watch and see if it's gonna come to pass because it's crazy. But one thing I will say, United States is scared of Trump. So we're not gonna sit here and act like they're not, because they are. Because when he said on January 6th, he said, if you put me in jail, he said January 6th ain't gonna look like nothing. And that's why when they had arrested him in the middle of the night, and they only kept him in jail for 1 hour, and they let him go. And they didn't let anybody know that he had got arrested until the next day. So they trying to figure out how to do this because they are scared, because he already said his people ready. So right there, that's a civil war already within the country, and we already got enemies waiting for us to do a civil war. So when we fighting each other, they can come in and take over. So they wait and they said, go ahead, because y'all just fighting among each other, and and the way y'all sound is so stupid right now. Y'all fighting against yourself and other people fighting against other countries, and we don't have to worry about other countries fighting us because we're fighting within. So the people who are ready for us, they just sitting and waiting because it's like, let them go ahead and destroy themselves. We're going to let them start first, and then we're going to take over. So it's sad where all this is going on.
It's because we have weak leadership. The same old that recycles itself thing is going to be a different result. But the American people are waking up, even though they're trying to cut out our educational system, about for our kids to learn what we're going through. Even back then, I didn't know half the stuff, growing up until I learned it when I got grown. So I just believe that what's currently going on now, we just need new leadership here in America. And without that, we're never going to change. We're never going to grow. We're never going to succeed to figure out our problems here in this time.
So do any of you think that Donald Trump is being persecuted in the true sense of the word?
He's the one. He did everything on his own. I mean, everything he did is on his own. It's his fault. So we just calling it out what we see, and that's that.
I agree. All right. Let's see what else we got here.
Donald Trump is persecuted because he went ahead and ate the chocolate cake when he was told not to.
Right. He said, damn that, I'm gonna eat it and take the store with it.
All over. Right, and he's got the evidence all over his face. I didn't take the chocolate cake. It's all over your face, man. In your hands.
It's sad, and the Russians are involved. He's their puppet, and it's sad, man. And even Republicans should see that and have the courage to speak up, but they're not. And that's why we have so much confusion in Congress now without a speaker.
Yeah. Well, didn't Scalise get elected speaker?
No, he was confirmed to be like, we're gonna vote for this guy to be speaker, and there's still about 102 that is questioning. They said not gonna vote for Jordan or Scalise. So, I mean, they knew that their intent. My thing is their attempt was, hopefully, they didn't expect, at the time when they planned this out that was happening in Israel. They didn't expect it was gonna happen, but they was doing that to protect Trump, to stop the investigation, to cut out, to stop the government from running and funding the FBI and whatnot. But they didn't realize, you're in power, dude. This is global stuff, global decisions you have to make. And something like what happened in Israel can pop up, and you're doing this crap. It's going to affect the whole world at the same time by not having, what you're supposed to did to, continue to pay our bills and to have a speaker.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to get more interesting. Who knows what's going to happen, right?
So what's happening Palestine. So you're talking about what's happening in Palestine from the invaders. But we had that conversation.
Well, yeah, but with that right there, like I said, I looked at it. I'm like, wait a minute. The Egyptian intelligence agencies informed Benjamin Netanyahu a month before this happened.
Mike, we can talk about that.
Yeah, later. But I'm just
Mike,
saying
we
that
can talk about
was
that
on the news. Yeah, that was on the news. But I'm just saying that was on the news. So I'm like,
Yeah.
There's more questions that need to be answered of how the devastation that happened in
We'll
Israel.
talk about it later.
But overall, y'all get my drift.
Okay. We'll talk about it later.
All right, let's look at this next one here. Now, this one's the one we really should be paying attention to. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th. Hamas today called for a mobilization of the Arab and Islamic world tomorrow. Hamas today called for a mobilization of the Arab and Islamic world on Friday in support of Gaza, describing it as a day of heroism and sacrifice. Thousands of Hamas targets have been obliterated by an Israeli aerial bombardment that has relentlessly pounded the Gaza Strip after the terrorists launched a surprise assault that has so far killed at least 1,300 Israelis. But now the terrorist leaders have called for those in the Arab and Islamic world to mobilize and show their support for Hamas and the Palestinian people on Friday the 13th, tomorrow. It comes after thousands of Palestinian supporters descended on the Israeli embassy in London, waving flags, singing, setting off flares. Hundreds more clashed with Israeli supporters at a London underground station as police desperately tried to keep the peace. So that's really interesting right there, folks. I think the whole world needs to be on alert tomorrow because some of these idiots, who knows what they're going to do. But they definitely want to make this a bigger thing than what it is. And that's a scary issue, I think. What do you think?
I want to say, I was praying, I was hoping, I said, Lord, please don't let this get bigger in the United States, the Ahabs, because every gas station in the area that I live in, and mostly this strip, is all Ahabs. And I know people can take it to a different level because when they get mad, they go after people who are not even over there. They said, well, since you're Ahab, we're going to come after you. And I just hope they don't do that because mental illness is on a rise. And you don't know how a person going to snap, because if they walk into these gas stations, it's going to be horrible if they go after these people. So I hope they don't jump off tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so too. It could be very, very bad. Michael?
Yeah, overall, I'm sorry. I have to be real with y'all. The reason I keep going in and out because I'm smoking a black and mild, and I'm trying to quit tobacco. So I'd rather not show it and then tell the truth than show it, and then y'all have to figure things out. But overall, with this situation, like I said earlier, it just seems like how did the attack happen and the way it happened when it was at the weakest point for them to simultaneously attack Israel the way they did, and to I looked at the videos and I heard the stories about the chopping off infants' heads. That it makes it hard to show the struggles and saying that the Hamas with the Palestinians saying we got to attack because the world hasn't listened to us for this long. America hasn't listened to us. under two different parties. They haven't listened to the Palestinian people. It has been building up. But the question is overall the intelligence. With the Egyptians said that they warned Benjamin Netanyahu a month before the attack. Now, the Egyptian intelligence is tied with our intelligence. And our intelligence people said that we didn't know nothing about it. Israel, Britain, France, but only Egypt heard about it. So why is it like that? What is disconnect? Why Egypt saw it and none of us saw it, and we got better intelligence than Egypt? So it just seems like to me, I hope that I'm wrong, but I've been right for almost 5 years now on everything leading up to now almost. That Benjamin Netanyahu, with all the corruption, with taking away the judiciary measures in Israel to take away democracy, and then all of a sudden an attack happened, and now Benjamin Netanyahu's got the war, the government, the opposite side joining with him, and now they got a war government. So with the corruption that he was facing, he has never had to worry about that no more. And now I hope I'm wrong that he allowed his people to die, to get killed in order to keep power and to bomb Gaza like he's doing. I hope that I'm wrong, but I feel deep in my heart that I'm not. And our government, sitting in the most powerful warship that we ever had out there, without acknowledging maybe there's something, we got to ask more questions about this, because this can drive us to a third world war, literally. Because Russia, China, Iran is not a part of all this. Somehow they got the weapons, somehow they got this and that without our knowledge. It's not Iran. If it was Iran, they'd have been caught this before. So there's something more going on. And, as a president of Canada, I kind of want to see the depths of everything that I see on the news.
All right. Angela. Angela. Angela, you're muted.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm having some issues with my internet, I guess. I don't know. Does it seem like it keep going in and out? But I just say we just keep everybody lifted in prayer. I feel sorry about what's going on over there. But it's sad. But
Yeah, it is. All right. Lamar.
I do want to say right quick also, my prayers are for the Israeli families that lost their families like they did in the tragedy, and for the Palestinian people as well. It's not the people's leadership on both sides that failed to try to find peace. So, I just want to say that.
Okay. Lamar. Lamar. Okay. Bob.
Well, yeah, pray for the Israeli people and anybody who's lost lives or is in the middle of this conflicts. That just pray that God gives them favor. I know that nobody here likes Trump, but when Trump was president, there were 0 wars, and none of this stuff ever happened while he was there. So maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not. Everybody has to draw their own conclusions, but I know what mine are.
Yeah. All righty. Anybody else?
And you know, a lot of people, I heard a lot of people going off about, well, you know, Israel need to give the land back. But if we're gonna go by the true Bible, we have to look at we have to look at Abraham and Sarah, because Sarah is the one who told her husband to sleep with the Muslim. And because Ishmael was born first, that's why um, usually the first child gets all the property, the land, all that stuff. If we're going to actually look at the Bible, so that's why they said that's their land, because Ishmael. But the promised child was not Ishmael. The promised child was supposed to come through Sarah. So Sarah did this, and ever since then, those children, because they are brothers and sisters over there, they've been fighting since then.
Yeah.
And so we have to be careful, because sometimes it's easy for us to point a finger at somebody, but we make decisions and we don't even know what the consequences are going to be. And here it is. This happened way back there, and they still fighting today, because in both eyesights they are right, because the firstborn is supposed to get everything, but he was not the promised child. So it's just sad.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it did start way back then. That's exactly where it all started. Anybody else?
Okay, Steve, if I
Yeah,
can
go
get into
ahead.
this conversation, Steve, if I can get into this conversation, I understand the argument that was just made, and that's true. But if we get into modern times, the land that was taken from the Palestinians was taken by the powers of the US, Britain, France, Spain, was given to them, was taken from the Palestinians. This is not Bible. It was taken from the Palestinians and given to the people of Russia, Germany, and Poland. Now understand that the people of Russia, Germany, and Poland are the ones living in Palestine, being called Jews or Israelis. Now, these infidels, and I probably shouldn't say that because I know everybody else is going to, the ADL is going to jump off me. All right, fine, I'll give you my email address. But the fact is, this is Palestinian land, and these people continue to this day to take Palestinian land. Now we have the Michael, what was it that I said earlier today? The Camp David Accord. Okay, that was already situated and settled. The two-state, yeah, the Camp David Accord. That was already situated where the line was going to be drawn. Then it was the 1946 line. That's where it started, 1946. This is what will be given to the people from Russia, Germany, and Poland. That's where it started. But those people said, no, we don't want this land. We want more of their land. And so the US and its power said, okay, fine. We'll let you have more of their land. We've already taken some of it from them. We'll let you have more of their land. And those people said, no, this is our land. And now you have more of their land being taken continually. And so when you take, Netanyahu or whatever the guy's name is, continually taking more Palestinian land. And all these people want to jump up, flip out, and scream, Israeli, Israeli, Israeli. I support the Jews. Well, the Jews are from Africa. If you want to talk about read your Bible, the people of the Bible were Hebrew. But the fact is, the people that are there in Israel are people from Russia, Germany, and Poland. And they continue to do what? Steal not STIL, but STEAL, Palestinian land. And let me put it to you this way. How long does a male continue to let another male rape his woman or his daughter before he says, I'm going to stand up and defend my daughter or my wife? And that's exactly what the Palestinians said. I'm tired of it happening, and I'm going to stand up and do something about it. And so the whole world is saying, oh, we need to help these people. Oh, we're so sorry for these people. What about the people who can't defend themselves? These people are using rocks and sticks to defend their own land, which every single day is being stolen from them. And the U.S. and the United Nations are sitting back saying, we see you, but we're not going to do anything about it.
You know,
So,
I agree.
Cry
I
a
agree
river
100%
when
with that one.
Cry me a river when these people want to talk about, oh, the Holocaust and the fight, and people do this to me all the time. Well, what about the 5 million? Okay, the same people that say that to me, I say, well, what about the 20 million? I don't deny the Holocaust, but don't deny the slavery trade. So when you want to tell me about 5 million, I'm going to ask you about the 20 million. So remember, we're talking about Yiddish people who speak Yiddish from where? Germany, Poland, and Russia. We are not talking about the actual owners of this land, which are the Palestinians.
Overall, you're 100% right, but overall,
so don't get it twisted.
No, I agree with you 100%,
Right,
and that's the reality. But overall, how the history was. Here's the thing: I look at it as where my position is. I feel like because the same old arguments, the same old truths, hasn't changed anything. It's got everything worse leading up to now. So maybe, just maybe, what we're seeing now is not what we've been told what the truth really is. And you know, as a president, I know I'm just saying we all see it now, because I mean there's so many questions leading up to, you know, why Israel attacked that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many questions that need to be answered. Go ahead.
It's not the truth, because on this morning on the news, they're talking about the students in Harvard might be blacklisted because they're the ones who are standing up saying we support the Palestinians.
Oh, they're doing that across the board.
Stolen every day.
They're doing that across the board. I agree with you. I'm just saying, when the Palestinians been attacked, the way they've been attacked years leading up to now, it never got on the news. But when the Jewish, I'm not trying to justify what I'm saying to one side or the other. I'm just saying the overallness of it, to view it. When only news like this get out only when this happens, when somebody Jewish gets hurt or whatever like that. But when Palestinians get beat down for 10 years and we don't see it on the news, it's kind of weird. Like now we see it all. It's all about to come out, but it doesn't matter because Benjamin Netanyahu got what he wanted. And I hope that I'm wrong about this, that he saw the attack coming, he just allowed it. I hope that I'm wrong, but common sense will look at it and say Israel should, I mean, the intelligence, knowing what's going on around with different Arab nations. I mean, they're already sharing information, so they would have already known. Egypt would have told them, you know, they told them a month before, and Benjamin Netanyahu didn't do nothing. It just seems like to me, since a corrupt person like Benjamin, it's not the people, it's the leadership. It's the leaders. Let me say this: it's not the people, it's the leadership, and on both sides. That while the Jewish people and the Palestinian people getting hurt, the leadership is causing all this crap. But it's more on the side of Benjamin Netanyahu of dragging this out, beating down these people, starving them out and all that. But that doesn't justify what happened, cutting off these babies' heads. So I understand that. But they dragged it on for so long, it doesn't matter the truth about of the past no more, because people are looking at the emotional ties and the struggles of today. And so it's hard, man. It's hard to see all that death and destruction. But at the same time, our leadership is not stepping up. They're just going with the flow with Benjamin Netanyahu wants. And as president, I would never did that. I would have just called everything out. Friends, let me tell you something about friends. Let me tell you something about friends. I'm going to say this, I'm going to stop talking. Friendship. The friendship that America and Israel have, right? Mutual, understandable, unbreakable. You know, but one thing I've learned about friendship is, and I recently got rid of a few friends that were, I know, 20 some years, but they were going to another route, another road that would bring me down. And I couldn't do that. The leadership of Benjamin Netanyahu, if all this seems like it's been a setup, like a false flag or to allow, and I hope I'm wrong, but it just, I feel it in my bones. It just seems like he allowed it. And I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, look, I just can't be a leader and not just call what I see and see it and just call it. So there's something going on. The truth is out there. We just got to start asking more questions, because drawing us into that regional war. Now Hezbollah is now, you know, Israel is attacking Hezbollah in Syria, and they're attacking right now. And it's going to draw Saudi Arabia, Iraq. But our leadership should have had a handle on this and hasn't. So that's all I got to say.
I'm glad y'all brought up another
Michael,
side.
when you consider, go ahead, Steve.
I was just saying, I'm glad you guys brought up another side of that, you know, because there's always at least two sides of everything. And it's
Right. That's true. That's 100%.
Right.
very, very badly over the years by the Israelis. Now that's a fact. And they still are. They still are.
But the people, the Palestinians and the Israelis want peace. But the leadership is so strung up about the past things back since after this the Second World War, the hate and the remembering. They can't get over that. So it's like it's going to take America to step in. If I was president now, I ought to put peacekeepers in and like, okay, you got to get through us to attack each other, because Americans died in Israel, 22 of them, and there's like 17 more missing. So I ought to put like our troops in there immediately to calm down the situation, tell Israel stop bombing and make Hamas stop sending rockets over there. That's what I would have done.
One thing generally, the reason
Mike, understand, like you had said earlier, that you know the U.S. and Israel are,
a lot of,
but Mike, you said that the U.S. and Israel are really great friends.
Friends, but yeah, friends can say no sometimes
You
when
also
they
have to
stray
understand,
off.
though, is that
Friends can say no. Friends can say no. If you're on the wrong path and you're trying to drag us in something we don't want to be a part of,
okay,
and you know you're wrong, the leadership, not the people.
but
There's
Michael,
a problem with that. And I'm not going to take America down that road.
you're ignoring. Okay,
No.
but Michael, you're forgetting that
Right.
one of the powers, one of the large power is that the U.S. is one of the powers that said, here, Israel, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you Palestinian land so you can live. And then we know every day
that's not what I'm going to do.
taking or stealing.
No.
Well, that's
Two-state
that may
solution.
not be,
Two-state.
that may be something
Two-state
different in
solution.
your administration. Okay.
Two-state solution.
Okay,
Two-state solution. The original course back then, when whoever did it back then was Clinton. Well, yeah, but that's look. I don't have to follow. I'm running for president to try to unite. I don't have to follow whatever other president did or try to do. I don't have to do that. I'm doing what the times are needed now. That's
Right.
what I'm going
I'm
to do.
talking about right now. I'm talking about
That's
right
what I'm
now.
talking about.
I'm with you, but I'm
Right.
talking about right now. Right now,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm
the
not president. I'm not
U.S.
president
is
now.
backing Israel because number one, it is Israel is being backed by the U.S. because the U.S. is one of those people, one of those companies that said we are going to steal the land from the Palestinians and give it to the Polish, the German, and the Russians, and give it to these people. And every single day, these people steal more Palestinian land, and they are not going to tell them no. And for
Let me
all
just say
those
this.
people that say no, they're not going to, they do it every single day.
Let me just say this. When you
And
say people,
everybody in the world knows it.
when you say people of our, it's not the government. It's just certain people that's powerful within our government that controls the anchors and the levers and all that. But deep down, you know, most Americans really, you know, they see what's going on, but it's not on the news and everything like that. So we have to go with our own insight about what's going on. And you know, going on social media talking about, I heard on the today, people getting shut down, people's the posts getting shut down talking about it. It's just weird. If you're talking against, it sounds like if you're talking against Israel, you're going to be shut down. The point is, the truth is the truth. Of what
No,
you know, a lot of people
I'm
earlier.
not talking about shutting down. What I'm talking about is Palestinian people land is being stolen every single day, and it's happened
talking about
ever
that.
since the U.S. and its fellow powers in
Yeah, yeah.
1946 started it. So
We
in
got it.
saying that the U.S. is going to stop it, the U.S. is a contributor to it.
Yeah, but it's not like this is what we are.
The
It's
U.S.
just certain people believe that. You have if you get new leadership in there that can change the dynamic. Hear me out, brother. If you have new leadership that change the dynamic of the reality in which we should change for the betterment of both sides, that's what we need. We don't have that now. So I agree 100% what you're saying under the format of if there's no new change, but I don't know if you know who's on the phone right now, but there's change, and you just gotta like look at there's a possibility for change to happen.
Yeah,
But to continue to believe that we cannot change from the same dynamic
everybody's
of,
talking about a two-state system.
well, okay, if it's not a two-state system, there's either the Jews kill all the Palestinians or the Palestinians kill all the Jews. It's either one of the two or the three. Unless you got some other better idea.
Well, I would.
There's only three ways it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Three. All right. Am I right or am I right?
I agree.
All right then. So therefore,
Right.
I'm trying to explain the way for the only way to create peace is the two-state solution. If not, I got to choose between Jews or Palestinians. I cannot do that. I'm not going to do that.
The next topic.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. We have to have that conversation for people to see, but overall, it's been a minute. But overall, we want peace. We want understanding that the things that were done wrong in Israel, especially the beheading of those children, was uncalled for. It was unconscionable. There's no excuse for that. But at the same time, we cannot excuse or deflate what happened to the Palestinians for over generations.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's what we got to find a middle ground. So
I'm glad you guys wrote that up. So that's good. But let's move on to the next topic here.
all right.
There is no way to escape death. And this kind of goes along with what y'all were saying in a way, actually. Gaza City, after days of devastating Israeli bombardment of the Gaza Strip, residents of the besieged enclave say there's no way to escape death. The airstrikes have been retaliation for the brutal terrorist attacks by Hamas, a militant group that is considered a terrorist organization by several countries. Hamas controls the Palestinian enclave where 2.2 million people live in about 140 square miles, making it one of the most densely populated places in the world. Schools have been flattened, walls blown off houses, and entire families buried under tons of concrete. Residents are scrambling to rescue relatives from the rubble as smoke and dust from the relentless bombing make it difficult to breathe. It's all collateral damage. We're all civilians, normal doctors, nurses, teachers, students. We're not Hamas. Mohammed Makshib, a Palestinian doctor and a deputy coordinator with Doctors Without Borders, told NBC News in a telephone interview from Gaza. Yeah, my heart goes out to all the ordinary people in Gaza, but it was Hamas that did the terrible things that got done. But, there's all these people there that are not part of Hamas. They're just regular, ordinary people who want peace, don't want to be in any part of this, but there's no place for them to go. Netanyahu is telling them they should get out, but they can't get out. There's no way for them to get out. There's walls around Gaza. And now Netanyahu is talking about taking ground troops in there. So there's no place for them to go. Their people are trapped there. And I really feel sorry for those people. And it seems like nobody's really speaking for them. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, but
Tamala, you
they're
started
having to
on
go
that?
to their own land. That's what I don't. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Nenhan, whatever the guy's name is, he's telling them to go, but they're having to go from their own land. That's their own land, and you're telling me I need to leave my own family's land. My family owns this property. My family has owned this farm. We've owned this building, and you're telling me that we have to leave because you want to build an apartment complex here. But yet it's still, this isn't your land. This wasn't your land back in 1946. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. When I say 46, I'm talking about when the Polish, the Germans, and the Russians first were stolen from the people. It was not this far in. But it has gotten too far, and the Israelis the Yiddish that are there, they now feel entitled to go ahead and take even more land. And it's like, no, this is our land now. And it's like, wait, what in the hell are you talking about? This is our land. Just last week, we were living across the street. Now you want to say that we need to move to 2 blocks away because you own that too. It is insane. And that's the picture that people want to ignore. These Yiddish people are taking Palestinian land every single day, and people want to ignore that fact.
Yeah, I hear you.
But overall, I would say this: it's not the Israeli people that fully believe that. They've been told that for generations. But deep down in their heart, they know that something is not right about all this. They know it. And then the timing of all this after the riots in Israel about Benjamin Netanyahu taking power. I mean, come on, man. Y'all people got to put 2 and 2 together. But the emotional, what's the word? The emotional the emotional repercussions of, there you go, emotional repercussions of what happened, of the attacks, is kind of blinding the overall truth. And that's why we may be drawing into, and I feel it, we may be drawn into a regional war. And I just feel like, I hope that I'm wrong about it, but I haven't been wrong so far. But overall, it has to be a situation where America has to step in and say, look, to know the whole truth, like what we're all talking about, and to really find a peaceful solution to make sure that it won't turn into a regional war.
Yeah. Guys, let's hear from the ladies that they haven't talked to in a while. Pamela, what do you think about this?
As we look through history, we realize everybody been stealing people's property and land for years. And I mean, that's just the way of life, and it's sad, but it's been like that. And the only reason why Africa was not overtaken because they didn't know Africa had women warriors, and they thought they take the men, they can conquer the whole continent of Africa. And Africa is still intact because they had women warriors. So when you go to different countries, you're looking at who can I attack. And if you're going to attack the males, then I'm going to take the males and then the women and then the children, and I'm going to take the land, and that's what I'm going to do. So people's land has been getting stolen for years. The sad part is the civilians, they trying to live their life and have peace, but they get caught up in the storm. So it's all sad that this is going on, but I don't see this in soon. It's because a lot of things are happening towards the one world order anyway. I mean, a lot of stuff is going to happen because we're not sitting in the meeting rooms for the UN and listen to their conversation, So we don't hear all this. We don't know step 1, step 2, step 3. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to go to World 1 order, and this is how we're going to get there. We're going to throw the virus in, we're going to throw the war in, we're going to throw all this in, and it's going to gear towards this, and we're going to force the people to go this direction. It's like the P Piper. We're going to force everybody to go in this same direction. And this is the plan. It's like a chess game. We move this person here. We're going to let this happen, All these things going to happen. Boom, 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 boom. A distraction. Because they're going to never know what we're going to do next. They're going to never know what's going to hit next. We just going to boom, boom, boom. And they're going to say, oh my God, I don't know what's going on, what's happening. But it's gearing us towards where they want us to go. Yeah. So that's what's going on right now.
Yeah. And I'm afraid it's going to get worse before it gets better,
I pray. I really pray it doesn't. I mean, it's in the Bible that wars and rumors of wars, it's happened. It's not worldwide yet. I'm just looking out for China right now because they're so quiet, and we already know their intentions. So I don't know. It's just it's so many moving parts going on right now. Oh, excuse me. I do know. I just can't say.
Our buddies now, they're hugging each other real close. And so that
right.
itself is scary. That's scary.
It's scary, yeah. But we got to have faith that hopefully with us waking up enough people waking up, that we can make a change.
Yeah.
In time, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully. So do you think that that whole thing going on with Israel and Hamas has taken attention away from Ukraine? Because we don't hear so much about Ukraine in the news here lately. We don't see Zelensky every time we turn around begging for more money. I mean, I'm sure he's still doing it, but we just ain't hearing about it, so.
Well, it's ratings. It's ratings with the news. That's pretty much why we haven't heard much, because Israel is the new hot thing.
That's what I'm saying, I kind of stole the thunder.
Yeah.
So,
But it is going to come back in the fold. It's going to tie in together, because we're going to be in a regional war, and then it's going to be a world war if we don't get a hold of it soon.
now, do you think the real powers that be, the billionaires of the world, the ruling families of the world, do you think maybe this Israeli thing is meant as a diversion to take our minds off of Ukraine and Russia? Do you think that's
Not really. Not really. I believe that the more the merrier for them. It's not taking away, just the more money for war and whatnot, especially the military industrial complex. They're going to make major money off of this. People dying, war.
and the
Yeah,
billionaires,
we got to stop it before all that happens.
the billionaires of the world own all those companies that make the weapons.
Right.
Politicians, they have stock in those companies, so they
Right.
benefit from it. This whole, like you said, the military and industrial complex, it's big money for people like the billionaires, the politicians, all those super rich people. This is part of their income, so they
But
have
they can make
to stop it.
they can make money off the war machine, but the war machine's got to be put towards the right fight, and we're on the wrong fight right now. So,
But to them,
and is that agree to being blind about agreed? That's pretty much what's going on.
they don't care about that.
No, they don't care. They don't care about the right and wrong. They only care about the money and the greed and the power that comes with it.
Just remember that they want the Earth be a population to be under 1 billion people. That's part of
Well, that's not gonna happen with me. Maybe we can cut back billionaires and millionaires that want to take over the world like that, cut them back, but not the population of the world. No.
They already have control. We don't have to let them have it. They got it. There's no way-
Have control and will have control in the future is two different things.
I don't see any way we can take it from them, Michael. They got the money, they got the weapons, they got the power. Who are we? You know?
I guess I'm gonna let y'all wait and see on that fact. I want to say something. I'm gonna let y'all wait and see. I'm gonna let the news and everybody tell you on that one. But you already know. You haven't seen it yet. I've already seen it. I just see it, and I know what's about to happen. I don't know when, but I know what's going to happen after the fact of me. Everything's going to change. So the whole thing that you believe right now, Steve, which I agree 100%. If I wouldn't run for president, if I didn't have a story and nothing like that, then yeah, maybe 100%. What you say could possibly continue to happen, but with me, it will not, because my story will change it. Period. That's what I strongly believe. That's why I've been holding on for almost 5 years with this.
Well, let's go ahead and let everybody get their plug in since you're talking, Michael. Go ahead and finish up, get your plug in about your website and what you're doing, brother.
Well, currently I'm a candidate for president for 2024. I was a candidate for 2020. I was threatened by Donald J. Trump. There's a federal lawsuit under the Freedom of Information Act twice under two different presidential candidates, two different presidents, Trump and Biden. And it's $2 billion. It's a class action lawsuit. And it's in the appeals process to remove the judge, Pamela A. Barker, from my case, because she was handpicked by Trump, and she had no power to dismiss my case because I picked the grand jury. So my main thing is this: landinghamcase.com is where you can take a look at the text messages between me and Trump on December 8th, 9th, and 10th of 2018, 13 days after I announced my run for the 2020 election. The Secret Service came to my house and gave me my threat assessment and confirmed it on October 9th, 2019. Joe Biden knows about it. I'm suing his Justice Department about it. And I warned him today on my page, the Party of We the People Landed Hand for President 2024 on Facebook. You have 48 hours to release my story from the Justice Department to my care to give it to the news. If not, then you will be held fully responsible, and I will go after you the same way I went after Trump for all this time. America is much bigger than one person, one idea. It's multiple ideas. And if we don't combine those ideas because of fear and lies that one side that's trying, behind Russia, Putin, trying to find a way to divide us from within to defeat us, then we will fall. My story can defeat Donald Trump to make sure that Donald Trump has no longer a hold on America. Landingham versus Department of Justice is where you can see the lawsuit. You can Google me if you want. I'm not Google me. You can email me if you would like to help our campaign, landingham2020@gmail.com.
Thanks, Michael. Lamar, go ahead and tell us about your enterprise.
Everybody we have a enjoyed you on the show. So I'm the founder of tutorsforyou.org, and we provide online tutoring, live classes for children and adults for simply $5 an hour worldwide. And we have classes between accounting and yoga, including preschool classes, accounting, my dog's right here, preschool, college prep, slow down. I'm sorry. We have classes from preschool to college prep, GED classes, computer courses, finance courses, special needs, mental health, music courses, English, math, history, science. We have well over 100 classes, all for $5. And the backbone of our services are our tutors. And all of our tutors are specialized teachers for all of our classes. So if you know someone that needs some help in their classes, come on down to tutorsforyou.org. That's tutorsforyou.org. Or you can call us at 1-813-743-3273. Operator standing by. Have a blessed evening.
Thanks, Lamar. Pamela?
My ministry is called Come Home, Stop Talking About It. It's an outreach ministry. We try to do what we can do. I am not Bishop T.J. Jakes. A lot of people try to call and try to get me to buy them houses and cars. I don't have that kind of money. Not yet, claiming it. But anyway, God is good. I'm an author of various books on Amazon, and I am a gospel songwriter and a gospel singer. I have one single out, ready to get all the rest of my songs out. And Steve, thank you for allowing me to be here, and I enjoy everyone tonight.
All righty, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Glad to see you all again, as always. Wish you all the best. Have a great weekend. And thanks to everybody for tuning in to the Night Crew. We're glad you're here. Spread the word, tell everybody, and we'll see you again next time. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.